Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm here to bring to you one more important concept for this ITR filing. During the Union Budget 2022, a new subsection, 8A, in Section 139 is proposed to be introduced to provide for the furnishing of updated returns under the new provisions. The Finance Bill 2022 has been passed in Houses of Parliament and CBDT has inserted a new Rule 12AC in the Income Tax Rules, 1962 with effect from 1 April 2022. Persons eligible to file Form ITR-U. Any person, whether or not he has furnished a return under Section 139 subsection 1, ITR filing until the due date, meaning of the due date as per income tax. Specified persons are required to file ITR with the Income Tax Department after the end of each financial year. To ensure timely filing of returns, the Tax Department has defined the last date up to which a person can file a return without paying any late fees. Section 139 subsection 4. Belated return. What is a belated return? An assessee does not file his return within the timelines prescribed in the Income Tax Act but files it after the due date is referred to as a belated return. The due date for filing a belated return is on or before the end of the relevant assessment year. Section 139 subsection 5. A revised return. Revised return is a return which is filed U.S. 139(5) as revision for the original return. It is a revision for any omission or mistake made in the filing of that original return. For any assessment year may furnish any update return of income under Section 139(8)(a) within 24 months from the end of the relevant assessment year, according to Rule 12AC of Income Tax Rules, 1962. The above eligible persons may furnish a return of income under Section 139(8)(a) relating to the assessment year commencing on the 1st of April 2020 and subsequent assessment years as per the relevant provisions of the IT Act and Form ITR-U. A taxpayer will be able to file only one updated return for each assessment year. ITR-U allows any taxpayer 1 to file the return of income not filled earlier. What do you mean by filing of return of income? Income tax return, ITR, is a form which a person is supposed to submit to the Income Tax Department of India. It contains information about the person's income and the taxes to be paid on it during the year. 2. To rectify any incorrect disclosure in ITR, the taxpayer can intimate the mistake to the Income Tax Authority by making an application to rectify the mistake. If the order is passed by the Commission, Appeals, then the Commissioner, Appeals, can rectify mistake which has been brought to notice by the assessing officer or by the taxpayer. 3. To rectify or change the head of income. 5 heads are 1. Income from salary. 2. Income from house property. 3. Profits and gains from business or profession. 4. Income under the head capital gains. 5. Income from other sources. 4. To reduce carry the forward loss. Set off of losses means adjusting the losses against the profit or income of that particular year. Losses that are not set off against income in the same year can be carried forward to the subsequent years for set off against income of those years. 5. To reduce unabsorbed depreciation. Meaning of unabsorbed depreciation. Unabsorbed depreciation is the part of depreciation that the assessee fails to claim as an expense in his/her income tax return due to insufficient profits during that year. 27 Jan 2022. 6. To reduce income tax credit etc. Tax credits reduce the amount of tax you pay. What are tax reliefs? Tax reliefs reduce the amount of income that you pay tax on. The tax credits and reliefs you are entitled to depend on your personal circumstances. Cases in which Form ITR-U can be filed. Any of the following reasons may be selected in Form ITR-U. 1. Return previously not filed. Non-filing of ITR can lead to imprisonment, where the term can vary between 3 months and 2 years. Non-filing of ITR can lead to imprisonment, where the term can vary between 3 months and 2 years. 2. Income not reported correctly. Not reporting cash income or payments received for contract work can lead to hefty fines and penalties from the Internal Revenue Service on top of the tax bill you owe. Purposeful evasion can even land you in jail, so get your tax situation straightened out as soon as possible, even if you are years behind. 3. Wrong heads of income shows if we alter the inputs into the wrong heads. 4. Reduction of carried forward losses. A tax loss carry forward, or carry over, is a provision that allows a taxpayer to move a tax loss to future years to offset a profit. The tax loss carry forward can be claimed by an individual or a business to reduce any future tax payments. 5. Reduction of unabsorbed depreciation. Unabsorbed depreciation is the excess amount of unaccounted depreciation that cannot be adjusted in the current year due to lack of profits in the profit and loss account. This unabsorbed amount can be set off against other heads of income and is carried forward for adjustments in the forthcoming years. 6. Wrong rate of tax. Instead of paying incorrect amount of percentage, we have paid incorrect amount, whether negligently or willfully. 7. Others. Cases in which Form ITR-U cannot be filed. 1. Nil return. A nil return is an income tax return filed specifically to declare to the Income Tax Department that no amount has been paid as taxes in the respective financial year. This happens only when the income is below the exemption limit or when a rebate reduces the tax liability to 0. 2. Return of a loss. A loss return is a communication forwarded by a taxpayer to the Income Tax Department, informing that there is a loss incurred for a financial year. 3. The claim of refund or increase in a refund. This usually happens when the advance tax, self-assessment tax paid and/or TDS deducted of the taxpayer is higher than the total tax liability of a taxpayer during the financial year. You can claim this refund at the time of filing your income tax return, ITR. 4. Reduction in tax liability. One can reduce their tax liability through a host of legitimate under the Income Tax Act, 1961. These include Section 80C, National Pension Scheme, health insurance, rent deductions, contribution to charity and political parties. 5. Search/survey/prosecution proceedings are initiated in the case of such person or any other person. 6. Any proceeding for assessment or reassessment or recomputation or revision of income under this Act is pending or completed for relevant A in his case. Tax on updated return, additional tax, under Section 140B shall be paid and filing details of tax paid challenge is mandatory in Form ITR-U. Late fees and additional fees will also be charged. Additional income tax payable at the time of furnishing the return under subsection 8A of Section 139. If such return is furnished after the expiry of the time available under Section 139(4) or Section 139(5) and before completion of the period of 12 months from the end of the relevant assessment year minus 25% of the aggregate of tax due, interest and fees payable as per the provision of the Act. If such return is furnished after the expiry of the 12 months from the end of the relevant assessment year but before the completion of the period of 24 months from the end of the relevant assessment year minus 50% of the aggregate of tax, interest and fees payable as per the provisions of the Act. Section 139 for filing belated return of income any time before 3 months prior to end of the relevant assessment year or before completion of assessment, whichever is earlier. Section 139(5) of the Income Tax Act 1961 allows taxpayers to rectify their mistakes in their original tax returns by filing a revised return. One should file a revised ITR on or before the completion of the applicable assessment year. Now taxpayers has the following options. Before the expiry of the time limit specified under Section 139(5) of the Income Tax Act, 1961. 1. Filing of a revised return under Section 139(5) of Income Tax Act, 1961. Or 2. Filing of updated return under Section 139(8)(a) of Income Tax Act, 1961. Or 3. Rectification of return under Section 154 of the Income Tax Act, 1961, after the expiry of the time limit specified under Section 139(5) of the Income Tax Act, 1961, but before completion of the period of 24 months from the end of the relevant assessment year. 4. Filing of updated return under Section 139(8)(a) of Income Tax Act, 1961. Or 5. Rectification of return under Section 154 of the Income Tax Act, 1961, after the expiry of 24 months from the end of the relevant assessment year up to the time limit specified under Section 154 of the Income Tax Act, 1961. 6. Rectification of return under Section 154 of Income Tax Act, 1961. Filing procedure of ITR-U. ITR-U has been enabled for assessment year 2020-21 and assessment year 2021-22 in Excel utility for ITR-1 for on 27th of June, 2022 in Income Tax Portal. It can be accessed through the site of Income Tax Department. There is no separate form for ITR-U. It can be accessed through the normal ITR-1 and ITR-4 forms. On selection of Section 139(8)(a) under Part A General Information in ITR-1 or ITR-4 in Excel Utility, a new worksheet named Part A Gen_139(8)(a) will be enabled, through which we can fill details related to updated return in Form ITR-U. XML can be generated from the Excel utility after filing in all the relevant information, including mandatory fields as indicated in red labels. The generated XML shall be uploaded to the Income Tax e-filing portal, Home, Income Tax Department. After uploading, the return shall be verified and submitted in order to complete the filing successfully. The updated return can be verified in the following ways. First one. Person. 1. Person liable for tax audit under Section 44ab of Income Tax Act, 1961. 2. Company or a political party required to furnish a return in Form ITR-7. Their manner of furnishing return of income are done electronically under digital signature. Second one is other cases in person. Their manner of furnishing return of income are done through electronic verification code, EVC, or electronically under digital signature.